That's why I want to interview, so the world can know. But, but like you feel me? mCp, feel me? Well, is an acronym in short for middle class poverty, and middle class poverty is like the way I think. It's like how I look at life. It's a thin line. That's what it is. It's a thin line between perception and creativity. And it's like middle class poverty is like actually living in the middle of the hood. It's like middle class poverty is actually being that kid that don't want to be involved in what's going on around him, but can sustain him. You know what I'm saying? That's what middle class poverty is. It's more of a it has something to do with what you see and what you're around. And I happen to be in the middle of some Asians that was broke, and I happen to be in the middle of some upper class white people that live in the hills that was rich. So me being in the middle of that, walking to these areas and these stores while still living in the hood, I was like, I'm in the middle. I'm middle class. You feel me? Obviously, I'm not broke. And poverty came around when I just was familiar. At first, I just seen a meme about it. It was like something about talking about like noodles, and this is called poverty. And I liked the word. It had a raw smoothness to it. So at first, I thought I'm gonna keep it solid. At first, I thought it was poverty. But then I had put out my first mixtape, and somebody had hit me like, "Bro, you know that it's poverty. You had a typo." So since it was already published, I was like, "Fuck it, like shit. I'm gonna just find a reason on why I'm calling it poverty." So I thought for like 2 days, no, maybe like 2 minutes, and it was like personal problems mixed with poverty. So that's where poverty came from. And so middle class poverty, bro, it's just the way I've been rolling this for how long?
Right.
It's just how you think. Like it's really how you think, bro. That's what it is. It's how I think. So for me, it's how I was thinking of things. It's like I don't know, bro. Middle class poverty. It's more to it. Like I want people inside of my head more to be able to explain it, or to be middle class poverty, to be under the understand it. So it's just yeah, that's what it is, bro. It's almost like being a kid who don't want to be with the shit, but it's surrounded by bullshit. You know? That's what middle class poverty is. You know? I mean, as you can see, I'm on my hat, but feel me? That's who I am. It's just middle class poverty. You know? I represent that because that's just how I believe shit is. I think everything is created based off what you see. You feel me? If you see a motherfucker robbing somebody, you create the thought of not wanting to be robbed. If you see a motherfucker making beats and you see he going hard at it, it's gonna create the thought of wanting to go hard at making beats. If you see a nigga hustling and he went from PFs to Balenciagas and you gonna create the thought of wanting to, you feel me, do what he doing. It's just that's what middle class poverty really is, bro. It's just the mind state. Mind state. It's a state of mind. It's where you at and how you see shit. Like I said, middle class poverty is the thin line between perception and creativity. So I just saw my surroundings and I created an idea, and I was to get out the hood, get out the middle class. But I'm gonna stay middle class forever though, cause I love it though. You feel me? Like I can still be who I am and still be cool. I done did hella shit for niggas, so that's what it's middle class poverty is like. And then yeah, you feel me? Like I didn't did hella shit. Like you feel me? I started doing music. I started making beats at 14, and then I had bumped into a lot of musical people at Oakland High. I was going in there, you feel me? At first I was just familiar with the whole like the little music program there, and then I bumped into a man who was speaking on two other young men that I was kind of familiar with but never really knew of. And he was like, "Yeah, man, they in the music program. I hear you want to do music, want to get involved." So that's what sparked me up to wanting to get myself involved in music. So 14, I was like, I was going through hella shit. Like I was in foster care and shit, and I ain't had nothing really to vent through. So I had started making beats, and I was familiar with Fruity Loops. So what happened was I had connected with these familiar people in my environment that was known for doing music for the community, and I started getting closer in them. And those names was Reg, aka Zeno, and Monte, aka Young Tay. I met Monte on some real life shit. That was just weird universal karma. You feel me? I bumped into him on the street, and that's how that vibed off. And we bumped in. We got cool on some other shit, and from there, this got a story. But from there, we built chemistry and built the relationship just do off of some just normal nigga shit. And I bumped into Reg based off of who he was and how he carried himself, and he reminded me of me. And so I started looking up to them niggas or whatever. And then I had made a beat. I started making beats. They started freestyling around me because we were just smoking on some just typical teen shit. You feel me? And we used to always freestyle and just share the same love for music. And I used to hear them niggas songs and shit, little shit they was doing when they was younger, and they was getting me familiar with their camp and YH and Gully. And I was already familiar with the name Gully as I was already familiar with it, and they was telling me, hyping me up about that. Like, yeah, bro, I got a camp. We got this, we got that. So I was just hearing their repertoire and what they had to deliver, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So I off top wanted to fuck with them niggas. So you feel me? Then was this first set of niggas that got me creatively, that got my creative juices going. So you feel me? Monte used to play a lot of music around me, like J. Cole, Kanye, all type of music around me growing up, and I started to get a vibe of what he liked musically, and just in sound. So at first I was rapping before I met them, you feel me? And I seen how bad they wanted to produce it. So what happened was, to make the long story short, I had sampled a song. I had sampled 2 beats, bruh. My first ever samples. Feel me? It was Tina Marie, Ooh La La La, and no, it was 3 songs. It was Michael Jackson. It was a Michael Jackson song. I think it was Billie Jean. I'm not sure, one of them. And then it was Tina Marie, Ooh La La La. Then it was Alexander O'Neal, Don't Criticize. The Ooh La La I gave to Monte. Monte gave it to Lil Chris, which is in a group called YH. That's in the same group of other collective pieces in the group, such as Young Gully and AB and Young D and shit. And then Lil Chris actually got on one of my songs, and Monte and Reg, they actually put out my first ever produced song, and then they got the ear of Young Gully, and Young Gully wanted my beats. So I sent them Don't Criticize, that I made for him for HM4. And then after that, motherfuckers started finding out who I was, and I was at 14. I was like 9th, 10th grade at high school. Motherfuckers knew about the people who I was fucking with, so it was it established me as a producer. Up and then I started getting better. I bumped into other acts like Blast Holiday, J Style and HD, Bareface, San Quinn, some nigga named Orlando Paul. You feel me? I got Filthy Rich on one of my beats. I got Lil Howie. I down there started being inclined musically with the whole day. So when that started, I was like 15. I was grinding hella hard, because see what it was I knew my daddy was a dope boy and my mama ran the street. So the summer times was different for me as a kid growing up. I had to stay humble and stay away from the heat. So me getting older and realizing that the summer was a lot of time to be getting myself involved in something, I just utilized my time like that. And at 15 and 16, I started building my repertoire, my archive up. I started getting more shit, and I started getting involved with this music program called Beach Rhymes of Life. They did a lot. Shout out to Tomas. And then 16, 15, you feel me? I was just grinding so fucking hard, and that's just when my name was known as Libra Elohim. And I just stayed consistent with my shit, and then I started doing my own thing. After I started seeing niggas do me shady and shit, I just started rapping on my own shit. And that was when I was like 16. And then I was still producing for niggas though. I had got on nigga Jay Stalin recent latest album called Memoirs of a Curse Server, which was one of his best albums, they say, best street albums. And my song was that I produced was Trying to Get Mo. I produced that when I was 15. And it finally got to him, and he used it after so long, and it got on his album. And it was one of the most, it was like a debut for his album. He shot the video for it. It got like 50,000 views, and I heard it hit War Star. After that, I just been consistent and was meeting people. And then after that, motherfuckers kind of just knew who I was in this music shit. So up until then, I started doing my own thing. I had my own movement. I went from Libra Elohim to Middle Class Privacy. I domained that, I legalized that, and I just started doing my own thing. I just started putting out hella music, recording myself. I had my own studio in my room and shit, so, you feel me? That's what niggas didn't know. I already had my shit before I even start rapping, and I just started taking it more seriously, and seeing how niggas was rocking in the Bay, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do my own thing, create my own lane. So I made like hella projects, nigga. Like I made like over like 10. I made self-produced, self-mixed, mastered, everything, all in my granny house, nigga. Back in my granny kitchen, like, nigga, in 1 year, nigga. I hit top 8 on that Piff off one of my mixtapes. It was next to Gucci. It was next to Chief Keef. You feel me? I even I got placements on Vlad TV due to my production for other niggas. Thisis50.com, Thizzler. I got placed on a lot of shit, bro, that I don't even talk about. So that's what I done did, and now I'm 18. So it's like up until that little time, I done did so much shit. I just put out a project. I put out an album, produced the album named under me, Middle Class Privacy, called Street Chronicles with Young Tay, and that put him on. You feel me? Like that got motherfuckers in the Bay fucking with him and got him doing shows. And I just put out a single for somebody, they first song, they first hit, and it's called Can't Trust Niggas by Mang Day. I produced that. A lot of niggas don't know I write hooks too, and I do a lot of shit for niggas that don't get spoke on, like artwork, like publishing, all that shit. Like I know how to do all that shit, marketing, distributing, just watching Birdman and shit. So that's how I started off. That's what I started doing. I just started being a real producer. I had albums. I was producing albums like when I was 16, 17, really just orchestrating shit, because I always had that ability to put two and two together. So that's what I started doing. I down there by count, I done did like, in less than a year, I done recorded like 146 songs, less than a year. Like, you feel me, by myself, not even on some bragging shit. So that's just what my ethic was like up until now. I even reached out to DB the General. I wanted to actually bring his sound back, you feel me? Because I feel like in today's world, in our younger generation, they trying to start up that energetic rap. So he started that off. I even hollered at him, he was down. Like I even hollered at Jay Stalin. I wanted to fuck with him and wanted to get on their label and bring that West Coast shit back. So Mr. Fab, even Mr. Fab know about me. A lot of these niggas know about me, man, and they kind of like don't accept the fact that I'm hella talented. Cause a lot of these niggas who got buzzes and who got deals was just luck. You feel me? A lot of these niggas ain't work hard for their shit. A lot of these niggas just bumped into a nigga that knew the nigga. You feel me? And it wasn't like that for me. I had to start up ground up with niggas who didn't even have a buzz. You feel me? So like my shit was just staying consistent with it and loyalty. So like that's what I started doing. Blood. I just started doing hella beats, hella projects, hella little shit, bruh. I started fucking with other niggas from over here to where they knew me. It's just like I've been doing hella fucking shit, and I still got hella shit going on. Like I got projects going on. I got my own project that I'm working on. You feel me, coming up, but that's what I was doing though. I probably did like 13 projects, man, less than a year. So I'm 18 though. I'm finna be 19 on the 27th. But like I done did hella shit, bro. Like really, now that I think about it, now that you got me thinking about it, I done been a 106 King year. Like, I done had the opportunity to have my productions landed on the Fruitville station. I knew about the Oscar Grant movie when they was just talking, saying that it was gonna be called the Oscar Grant movie. You feel me? Like I was on shit before a lot of these niggas. Like I done, you feel me? Then been in the studio with a lot of niggas, and then got indie record labels calling me. I don't even brag about it, blood, cause it's like that shit don't impress me, you feel me? Because it ain't impressing nobody else. So it's like, you feel me? I done got calls from a lot of motherfuckers. Mr. Fab actually called me. out the blue, somebody gave him my number. We had a 30-minute conversation on some nigga, my talent could be a gift and a curse. You feel me? So, you feel me? That's one thing he told me. You feel me? And like, just I fucked with real niggas. Like, I just kept doing it, bro. Like, I got this shit going on with G Baby and Jets. You feel me? My nigga PYN, IDF, that whole H&M, you feel me? Shit, Hustle 99 business. Shout out to him. I mean, I was fucking with him. Like, he was fucking with me though, but like a lot of niggas just seen me, bruh, and seen my heart, bruh, and this shit, bruh. That's how I got a lot of shit done and met a lot of people, because I really want this shit. So, yep, I done did a lot of shit up until 18, bruh, just in 3 years, bruh. Like, I told myself I wanted to be established as a producer. Like, I produce albums for a non-profit organization in my city, you feel me? Like, so, yep. mCp.